أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله الكذب وهو يدعى إلى الإسلام والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم والله متم نوره ولو كره الكافرون. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا هل أدلكم على تجارة تنجيكم من عذاب أليم. تؤمنون بالله ورسوله وتجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالكم وأنفسكم ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Translation by Hafiz Ijaz Ahmed Sahib. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. Verses 8 to 12 of Surah Saf have been recited before you, and the translation of these verses are as follows. I seek refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. But who could be greater wrong than one who forges the lie against Allah while he is called to Islam? Allah guides not the wrongdoing people. They desire to extinguish the light of Allah with their breath of their mouths, but Allah will perfect His light, even if the disbelievers hate it. He it is who has sent His messenger with the guidance and the religion of truth, that He may cause it to prevail over all religions, even if those who associate partners with God hate it. O ye who believe, shall I point out to you a bargain that will save you from a painful punishment? That you believe in Allah and His messenger, and strive in the cause of Allah with your wealth and your persons. That is better for you if you did but know.
Umar Sharif Sahib, Manzoom Kalam, Hazrat Masih.
Nazam by Umar Sharif Sahib. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you, beloved Hazur. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. A poem by the promised Messiah, peace be upon him.
क्यों अजब करते हो घर में आ गया होकर मसीह क्यों अजब करते हो घर में आ गया होकर मसीह.
Why do you become astonished that I have been sent as the Messiah?
खुद मसीहाई कदम भरती है ये बादे बहार इस मऊत समा इस मऊत समा जाल मसीह जाल मसीह.
Hearken to the voice of the heavens, the Messiah comes, the Messiah comes.
ज़मीं आमद इमाम कामगार.
And hearken to the earth, here comes the triumphant leader.
कृष्णा ज़मीं आमद इमाम कामगार.
And hearken to the earth, here comes the triumphant leader.
क्या तमाशा है कि मैं काफिर हूँ तुम मोमिन हुए.
What is this that I am a disbeliever and you a believer?
है कि मैं काफिर हूँ तुम मोमिन हुए.
What is this that I am a disbeliever and you a believer?
फिर भी इस काफिर का हामी है वो मकबूलों का यार.
Even so, that beloved of the favored aids this disbeliever.
इस काफिर का हामी है वो मकबूलों का यार.
Even so, that beloved of the favored aids this disbeliever.
ये अगर इंसान का होता ये अगर इंसान का होता कारोबार नाक़िसा.
If this were the work of man or evil ones,
ऐसे काज़िब के लिए काफी था वो परवरदिगार.
that God would have been sufficient for such a liar.
से काजिब के लिए काफी था वो परवरदिगार
That God would have been sufficient for such a liar.
कुछ न थी हाजत तुम्हारी ने तुम्हारे मकर की
There would have been no need of you or your deceit.
नाबूद करता वो जहां का शहरयार
That king of the world would have destroyed me himself.
मुझे नाबूद करता वो जहां का शहरयार
That king of the world would have destroyed me himself.
है कोई काजिब जहां में लाओ लोगों कुछ नजीर
Is there such a liar in the world? If there is, bring forth such an example.
ऐसी जिसकी ताईदें हुई हो बार बार
Of one who has been constantly supported like myself.
जिसकी ताईदें हुई हो बार बार
Of one who has been constantly supported like myself.
ये फुतूहाते नुमाया ये फुतूहाते नुमाया ये तवातुर से निशान
These clear victories and these continuous signs.
आये मुमकिन है बशर से क्या ये मकारों का
Is it possible for man to show them? Is this the work of deceitful people?
है बशर से क्या ये मकारों का
Is it possible for man to show them? Is this the work of deceitful people?
अब इसी गुलशन में लोगों राहतों आराम है
O people, ease and comfort now lies within this garden.
है जलदाओ है आवार गाने दश्ते खां
O wanderers of the thorny wilds, come swiftly, for there is still time.
जलदाओ है आवार गाने दश्ते खां
O wanderers of the thorny wilds, come swiftly, for there is still time.
है जलदाओ है आवार गाने
O wanderers of the thorny wilds, come swiftly, for there is still time.
नाराय तकबीर नाराय तकबीर हजरत Muhammad Mustafa. Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa. Islam Ahmadiyyat. Islam Ahmadiyyat. Ghulam Ahmad ki. Ghulam Ahmad ki. Khilafat Ahmadiyya. Hazrat Amirul Momineen. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamid. Jamaat Ahmadiyya Alam ki. Nara Takbir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is the third speech, and usually this is a speech where we recount all the favors upon God Almighty which He descends upon this community. By grace of Allah, in the entire world, besides Pakistan, we've established new places, and the number is 300 by grace of Allah. And beside these new communities, new Jamaat, for the first time we have established our community in those areas. And also, among those where we have had a new contact, we have Congo on number one on top, Tanzania, followed by Ghana, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Niger, Benin, Guinea-Conakry, Mali, Togo, Sierra Leone, Uganda, Ivory Coast, Gambia. In these areas, we've established new contacts, respectively. And of course, there are also another 25 countries where we have small communities where we have established new contacts, as I have enumerated. Among these new contacts, and of course, there is a lot to say how we managed to get our establishment in these areas. Regarding Guinea-Bissau, the Mobile has written and said that in the Anarchos Tabra in this year, there was a lot of resistance and opposition, and we didn't have any contacts there. But during JALSA Salana, Baltim Sahib, who is the chief, was called, and normally we listen to your JALSA and discussion. And then he said after that, because of the chief who should have stopped them, and of course the opponents were raising, but because of the JALSA and the chief coming there, and also watching the Khalifatul Masih, the chief decided and say that your community is a true community, and with my 400 and over members, I am joining your community. And in this area, it is about 3 places where the new contacts have been established. And in the Cameroon, in a very remote village, Memi, through MT Arabia, and the place is 80 kilometers from Marwa, and we established contact with Malim Sab, Umar Sab. We had a discussion with about 200 peoples, and through MT Arabia, they've been watching the MT Arabia for 3 years, and they've already learned about the community, and they had arranged to come once again. And here, on that time, around over 100 people, they accepted and signed Bayat. Of course, there is a lot to discuss and talk about, and I will have to leave a lot in order to save time. And of course, the report has been coming in time and again. The Amir Sahib of Liberia, the report which he sent, he said that from a county called Momi, there's a town called Momi, that the team went there for preaching, and they met the members, and they held a preaching sitting there. And of course, they had their program on the appointed time, and they were talking about the advent and the coming of the second coming of Jesus Christ and the appearance of Mahdi. And they also discussed about the misconceptions and the misunderstanding between us and other members. And of course, in the end, the Imam Tala Sahib expressed the willingness to join after knowing that the information which was spread before. And he said, when you came before, I was amazed to hear you quoting the Holy Quran and saying, giving quotations about the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when what we have been hearing before was that you are against the teaching of the Holy Prophet and against the Holy Quran. And now I've got this clarity that you are Muslims. And seeing and listening to us, he has now joined the Bayat officially, and he has formally signed the Bayat. In reference to the new mosques which have been established across the globe, I've got the report before me, and it is that by grace of Allah, the number, the Jamaats, where there are 225, 139 were new constructed one, and the others were even given to us already constructed. And in these countries, they have different mosques, and the report goes as follows. The highest is in Ghana, then followed by Sierra Leone, Liberia, Benin, Burkina Faso, Congo Kinshasa, Ivory Coast, Mali, Liberia, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Niger, Cameroon, Uganda, Senegal, Guinea-Conakry, Chad, Burundi, Central African Republic, Kenya, Togo, Congo, Brazzaville, Zambia, Sao Tome, and even in India, we've got an increase in the construction of mosques. We also have an increase in Indonesia. As far as Asia is concerned, these are the top of the list. They are followed by Bangladesh, Nepal. We also have in Europe, Germany, France, followed by America. And And of course, in Pakistan, the government is breaking our minarets and our domes. And Allah, look, He's granting us even already built mosques and the ability to construct ours elsewhere. As far as Central African Republic is concerned, the Amir writes and said that one of the Muslim imam passed by our mosque, and when he asked regarding the mosque, he was told that this is a mosque. This mosque is for the Ahmadis, and then he said, "This is a beautiful mosque," and then he asked how it was constructed, and he said that it did not cost over 5 million. And then he was wondering, how come that you built such a beautiful mosque in such minimal expenses? And he said that our people, they spend a lot and they cannot produce such a mosque. Belize is another example, and we have another report that there is a place within the south where one of the new converts and his family, they wish to have a mosque near their surroundings so that people and their neighbors can learn about Islam Ahmadiyyat. And they offered their land to build a house there, and then they did not offer the land. Rather, he also offered his son to be trained, and at the moment he is being prepared to be joining Ahmadiyyat and to be joining Jamia Ahmadiyya for further training. This is how God is helping our community. Of course, it's not easy to construct these mosques, and we face a lot of opposition and a lot of resistance in some areas. Benin, for example, I've got a report from Benin that in a place called Nati in this region, Kindo, Tetingo is a village which I'm talking about, that the community had an opportunity to build a beautiful mosque. The village Tingo, it is the distance of 50 kilometers from the capital. And of course, the road leading to that place is a very treacherous road. And of course, the population is about 250 people. And of course, the people there, they're very active, and they have offered the land for the construction of a mosque. And of course, people were trying to resist the construction of a mosque. But in any case, they also sent me a report and also requesting for prayers that may Allah help them. And in April, the resistance stopped, and they were able to lay the foundation stone. And through Wakal Amar Division of Labor, they were able to build a mosque. And of course, the mayor and all other scholars, the scholars were resisting, but the mayor came and he says, I'm sick, I'm ill, but in spite of my sickness, I know that this is a humanitarian community which helps people, and they are spreading peace. I had to attend, and of course, we have to offer them the opportunity to build a mosque, and he gave the permission to construct a mosque there. Mubalik from Chad wrote in and said that ever since we constructed a mosque in Chad, the resistance increased, and the scholars, the mullahs are propagating that Jamaat Ahmadiyya doesn't believe in the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they don't follow him. And we've had the opportunity to hold the first JALSA. And when the people were called to attend JALSA, people were telling them not to come, not to attend this gathering. And many people from the village came to attend. And one of the attendees, whose name is Abdullah, came to attend. And as he was expressing his sentiments and feelings, he said that, of course, even the Muslims are scared of the Jamaat Ahmadiyya and its followers. And they also misinterpret and they spread wrong propaganda about you. and what I've heard here from you about the Holy Prophet and about the Holy Quran, we don't hear the same from our scholars. And of course, 124 mission houses also, beside mosques, have been established some across the globe in 140 places, which includes countries of Africa, Kazakhstan, Australia. And as far as publication is concerned, the report about the publication is that we have produced new copies of the Holy Quran, where they have also produced the translation in Urdu translation. And of course, on the display, you can see the books, the new publications we have. And of course, we've been able to publish this at a low cost, by the grace of Allah, and they are cheap comparatively. The Department of Publication UK, we have got that the Greek translation of the Holy Quran. Now we have completed 6 new languages, and the translation is completed in Albanian language. This translation is ready, and it has been sent for publication in the press. And we also have the Danish Quran, and also the books of the Prince Messiah, which have been produced in English, and it's on 5 volumes. Besides, there are also other books which have been translated, and they are ready for production and ready for print. All these books, they are now available, which have been published. They are available in the stores, and they are very beautiful, as you can see them, and the printing is excellent. And also the font used and the skills, the way it has been binded, in comparison, the price is very bound. It's been bound, the price is low. As far as the translation is concerned, it has been set in 15 lines, and on every page, the Mir Ishaq has helped very much in order to arrange, and also they have agreed on the font and the font size which is to be used in these printings. We have got Guryali and Malayali, and also the Quran of Sher Ali Sahab has been translated in Marathi. This is in Indian languages, and there's been a lot done as far as these translations and publications are concerned. The translation of the Holy Quran in these different languages is much liked by different people, and there was a festival in Mali, and the Quran Kareem and other publications, we had an opportunity to have a bookstall, and someone came on the stall, and he was so much impressed to see the translation in French, and then he said, this is the best translation in order to understand the Holy Quran, and he bought 10 copies for his mosque, and he said, I'm buying this for my mosque and for the Imam so that many people can benefit from this translation. As far as Ruhani Khazain is concerned, it has been also been republished and also translated in different languages. At the moment, we have 12 books, 12 copies which have been published. Rather, 12 copies were published before, and now another 12 have been published to make a full set of 24. books. And also, all the 82 books of the Prophet Messiah have been translated, and also the Irshad has made different translations in different languages like Bangla, Tamil. The books of the Prophet Messiah have been translated in these languages, and also other books of the community. The translation of the books of the Prophet Messiah, we also have the books in Bangladesh and in German and in English, which are 7 copies. Telugu, we have in the Telugu there are 4, in Tamil language 3. In Luganda we have 2 copies each. Tirgazi and Creole we have a copy each in these languages. And as far as the books of the Prophet Messiah are concerned, the Amir of Belgium writes that a Belgian professor, in March, he was given the opportunity, Allah gave him the honor to join Islam, and his name is Venal Korsa. And the background of his acceptance of Ahmadiyyat goes as follows, that he was a Christian before, but he never believed Jesus to be God. Then he started searching for a living God. And then he continued to visit our mosque in Baitul Mujib, and he used to stay, he was sick all the time. And he was given the books of the Prophet Messiah ﷺ, and he also listened to one of my sermons. Rather, he was regular in listening to my sermons. But when he had the sermon of the 6th of March, where I was explaining and the extrapolation of the Prophet Messiah regarding the Holy Quran, he was so much impressed. And then slowly he started to continue the investigation, and then he started to also mention the name of Allah as he tried to find a living God. He also he went to Holland and other places seeking God, and then eventually he believed in the existence of God, and now he has formally joined our community by the grace of Allah Almighty. The Department of Publication and the Printing, according to their report, the report which is coming from 150 countries, we have over 400 books and pamphlets which have been published in over 27 languages. And we've published about over 98,000 volumes. We also have commentaries, and we have 47 languages in where we have small translations of the Quran itself. In the entire world, under 36 countries, rather also in different publications and different journals, we have our messages going out, and there's a long list of these publications and in different languages, and amongst these we have languages of Africa, Asia, and other European languages as well. Under Khalifatul Irshad publication, the detailed account of their work goes as follows, that in 47 languages we've been able to send over 100,000 books and into different countries. And also there are other, and close to 1 million, they've been able to publish different pamphlets and books, and also this message, the message of Islam Ahmadiyyat, has gone to over 96,000 people. And of course, there is a lot going on in terms of publishing new books. According to the statistics, we've got a lot of exhibitions, and through these exhibitions, we have delivered our message to over 140,000 people. And also we've also distributed free of charge a number of books, and through bookstores and book fairs, we've been able to send this message far and wide across the world. As far as exhibitions are concerned, we have different incidents that happen. We have a lot of stories. One of the university students says one of the students came, and he says that I thank you that you invited us in this exhibition, and this has given me an impetus in search of God, and you have introduced me to a new avenue, and I've learned a lot. And all my reservations I had before, after this exhibition, I've got a new view about Islam and have a better picture about Islam now. This happened after the exhibition. Also, another agent, a news agent, he also wrote in and said that this exhibition was very wonderful. I've learned a lot about Islam, and it has opened my mind towards you, and I'm convinced by what you've put forward before me. I've heard a lot before you which have been disproved after listening firsthand. Now, I used to think that you are different, but now through this exhibition, all I've seen are positive things coming through from you about Islam. Allahu Akbar. Jai.
Ahmed ki nare takbir.
नुमाइश देखकर एक नौजवान तालिब इल्म ने कहा,
One young youth who is a student said that I'm seeking a true faith which can lead me to a living God, but I find a lot of differences within the Muslims. But after attending this exhibition, I'm feeling peace. And if I'm to become a Muslim, I can only join this sect and become an Ahmadi Muslim. Through these book fairs and book exhibitions, there is a lot of sentiments, and people have written about their observations. And there is a place called Zila, and we don't have a lot of members. Rather, we have a few Muslims there. But this was the first stall which we made in that place, and the chief in this place, rather the Chief Justice, he came on our bookstall, and he was very happy to see a representation of Islam on these fairs, and he invited all the people who are running the exhibition to have a lunch with him. And during the lunch, he expressed his feelings, and he said that though the Muslims are very few in this area, but representing Islam and doing what you did in this area, it is applauded, or I applaud your actions. And he's now making his research on internet, and many people in India, in Assam, who are also researching after attending or being to our bookstores. In Spain, Abdul Sabur Numan from Spain said that Maulana Karamilai Sahib, the deceased, we had an opportunity to hold a stall in his honor. The book Al-Qawl Sarih and other books were given to one of the members, and he said this man was an Algerian, and when he returned with these books in Algeria, he has now joined Islam Ahmadiyyat after reading these books and understanding our stand about Islam. There's a report about libraries that over 124 countries we've been able to to open up libraries there, and books from Qadian and England, they've been sent to these libraries across the world. And from the implementation department, we've got the report that there are about 88 books which have been translated in Hindi, and others are being prepared. And of course, I've covered I've covered already a lot in my report. And of course, this is the way we introduce Islam to different people, and a lot is taking place through different mediums, through different means to convey the message. As far as the books published in Arabic, it is 188. There's a Malfuzat which is ready to be sent to press for publication in Arabic language. And Malfuzat and other books in Arabic which have been prepared is 189 in total. There's also a set of Tafsir Kabir. The commentary is now ready. There's also a lot of books in Arabic which have been translated in Arabic, and some are in the final stages. Others are ready for publication. The Arabs have written in, and they have expressed their sentiments. And one of the ladies wrote and said, "I have been introduced to a community through MTA Al Arabiya. I hadn't formally joined, and this is my first letter to you. I'm not a member, but I am convinced about the truthfulness of the Prophet Messiah alayhi wasallam. I'm writing to you because I had seen in a dream where the Imam was holding a paper, reading something from that paper. And as I was watching the MTA, I saw the same Imam who was reading a paper, and that was the fourth Khalif, and that became the means for me to accept Islam. And I beg you and request you to pray for me to remain steadfast in my acceptance of Islam." There's a lot similar examples from the Arabian people and from Arabian Peninsula and from the Arab world. I have received different stories about how people they benefited from the acceptance of their prayers, how God has showed His favor upon them, and I would like to put a few examples before you. From the Russian desk, I've received a report that in the Russian language they have revised. Now they have revised the Holy Quran, and they're now doing the proofreading. They are also publishing Surah Khilafah and Barakat Dua, the books of the Prince Messiah. They are now also revising and doing the proofreading on these books. There's also other translations which have been done. They have also translated the Malfuzat, the words and sayings of the Prince Messiah, and they have already translated all the volumes. They have also translated the life of the Prince Messiah, and they are revising also this book. They have also translated another book about the life of the Prince Messiah and his biography. They have also translated some of my books in the Russian language, and they have also translated the book Our God, which was written by Saiful Malik Sahib, the deceased, and now they have translated this book in Russian. It has also been uploaded on the Russian website, and also other books they have uploaded. It was 221 books which were uploaded on their online, and on the YouTube channel Al Huda, rather Rahe Huda, which is a YouTube channel. It is also taking hold in the Uzbek people. Different programs have been uploaded and they have been viewed, or we have had so many views, and the viewership is increasing through these mediums. And many people are subscribing on these YouTube channels. And this site has been visited over 149,000. These are the views of the viewership. There's also Bangladesh, which has given a report in, which is doing a lot of programs. They're working on MTA. They have translated the Holy Quran and commentary, and they have also given live programs in Bengali. And these are numerous programs they have produced. They've also translated other books of the Prophet Messiah. Hasti Bari Ta'ala, the existence of God, has been translated. And they're also translating other books as well into the Bengali language. And of course, they need to increase their speed. And of course, for others as well, they are also catching up. They're increasing the pace. There's also French desk, Siratul Abdal, and they have also translated a few books. Some are being reviewed. And besides this, they are also translating my sermons, and they're also very active on the social media, and they have a lot of programs and a lot of content which they've uploaded. And of course, there's also Tashkent desk, Tazkat Shahadatain, Daful Bala. They have reproduced a lot on the basis of these books. Rather, they've been translated, and there's also many programs which they have broadcast live and on MTA, on Khilafat, and also the truthfulness of Islam. And also we have, now I move on to the Chinese desk. This, by grace of Allah, this is a desk which is in charge of translation in the Chinese language. And they have translated the book of Sazafullah Khan, The Status of Women in Islam, and they have published this book in the Chinese language. Likewise, they have also translated the book called Jesus in India, and also the introduction to the study of the Holy Quran in the Chinese, and the book called Murder in the Name of Allah by the fourth Caliph has been also translated in Chinese. And now I move on to the Swahili language, and this desk is in charge of translating in Swahili. Also, we have the French desk, we have other desks, and all these desks, they're in charge of translating my sermons. We also have the Spanish desk, and they've been able to translate many books in the Spanish language and a lot of pamphlets. They have translated Dafir Bala, Izala Waham, Tajalliyat Islam, Hujjatul Islam. These are books of the Prophet Messiah. And beside this, they've also translated the books of the second Caliph, which have been published in the Spanish language. Likewise, they are also translating my sermons as well. There's been also a lot done in the Farsi, the Persian language, and we have 22 books which have been translated in the Persian language at the moment. Regarding leaflets and flyers and the scheme of the distribution of these pamphlets, On total, we've been able to produce these books on over 1 million areas, 1 million pamphlets, and the message is gone to over 10 million people across the globe. And this covers Norway, Germany, Sweden, France, Spain, Belgium, Malta, Finland, Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland. All these countries, respectively, the message is gone there through the pamphlets and leaflets. And as far as public preaching is concerned, Canada is on top, followed Guatemala, Argentina, Uruguay, Honduras, Belize, Paraguay, Jamaica, Guyana, Bolivia. Followed by Australia, New Zealand, Comoros Island, Australia, Fiji, Marshall Islands, Micronesia. And other African countries, Ivory Coast, Benin, Tanzania, Madagascar, Kenya, Chad, Zambia, Nigeria, Congo, Brazzaville, Congo Kinshasa, Niger, Mauritius, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Mali, Zimbabwe, Togo, Liberia, Burundi. All these countries have received our messages. Equatorial Guinea, Uganda, Guinea-Conakry. Besides, we moved to India. Over 300,000 pamphlets and leaflets have been distributed and given out. Also in Indonesia, in places like Bhutan, in Philippines, or in all these areas, we've been able to distribute our pamphlets in these languages, in their local languages as well, in these countries. The Muslim of Nigeria writes and says that we were able to preach in over 100 places. And once a friend came to our mosque, and coincidentally, I was giving a lecture about the Prince Messiah, and the writer says, after that, I held a question and answer session, and one gentleman said, I want to accept, but he said, not now, take your time, make some more research. And he gave him a book about Ahmadiyyat for further research and further reading. And he says, when I gave him the book, the Muslim says, I remained praying to Allah Almighty to guide this brother, and so that he becomes the source of guidance for others. And he said, extraordinarily and surprisingly, he returned the next day and he wanted to join. And then I asked him, I inquired, what makes you come back so quickly and make you want to accept? And he says, this book has convinced me. And he joined, and he's now a different man, a very active, and he's also been reading different books. There's also another gentleman who has joined through him. Here in UK, there's a Jewish professor who has accepted Ahmadiyyat through our pamphlets, reading and going through these leaflets. The writer writes and says that we went to Cambridge. Rafiuddin Saab wrote in and said we went to Cambridge for leafleting. And he wrote to me saying that we wrote to you for prayers. It was raining, and we went outside the shopping center and we were distributing leaflets. And no one was interested in taking these leaflets. But after a while, a friend came to us, Svina, came to me and said that I've been watching for a long time. You are standing in this cold and in the rain, and you are trying to invite people to you, and no one is showing any interest. But I don't understand why this is the situation. And he said, answering, he said that, of course, for me, this is my work and this is what I have to do. And she said, I want to know about you more. And then she is of a Jewish background and a lecturer in Islamic finance, and has worked He's got a long experience. He's got a lot, and I also, she remained in contact. I ensured that she meets other preachers of our community, and she's been given an opportunity and guided towards some books to read. And she was told in the end that if you turn to God seeking for guidance, God will definitely guide you. And she wrote back saying that I have started listening to the sermons of the head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and she started writing to me, and she started seeing very spiritual dreams. And she said that I saw in a dream where there's a lot of bombardment and there was fire everywhere. And then I had a voice telling me that follow the Imam of the Jamaat Ahmadiyya, wherever he goes, follow him. And because of this dream, I continued researching about you people, and after 1 year, she has now officially and formally joined Islam Ahmadiyya.
Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis, Jamaat Ahmadiyya UK, Nare Takbir.
Akbar. And of course, after joining, she used to be a lecturer. She's no more now lecturing, and the resistance from the family members. And she was a sufferer of cancer, which is now spread. But in spite of everything, she remains steadfast. And she's got the passion of delivering the message and preaching to others. She's still standing on her faith. There's another report from Review of Religions, which started in the life of the founder of this community, the Prince Messiah, ﷺ, and the first one was published in 1902. Now we have it in different languages, in English, French, Spanish languages, and in this year it's been printed in over 200,000 copies. Now, it has an international board and medias for the publication of this Review of Religion in different languages in different countries of the world. The Professional Publishing Association is a national organization which also analyzes and works with the government at different national committees and at different panels. They have invited the Review of Religions, rather they have incorporated the Review of Religions for national awards. It has been appointed to be the judge. Rather, it has been nominated for award. By the grace of Allah, it is being appreciated in different parts of the world, and which is a source of an increase in the new converts. In 1994, we had a new publication, and of course Al-Fazl was being published, fortunately, but now it is being produced on a daily basis. This is a newspaper which is published on a daily basis. We also have another number which is a weekly one, and is widely produced and widely read. Of course, different websites have been blocked on the internet in Pakistan, but through Twitter and other mediums, the message has been delivered and is being delivered to different people, even within Pakistan. There's Al-Hakam, which is a weekly journal. Of course, it is sent in different libraries of the world and is much appreciated, and they're increasing its publication and they're increasing and building on its content. There is International Research Office under this department, there's a lot which has been done. They've been able to write the commentary on Bukhari, Sayyid Zaid al-Abdin's translation, Fiqh al-Masih. All these books have been translated. Majmu'a Ishtiharat, it has been published in English. Hamamatul Bushra, Qawl Sari is also being reproduced and translated in English. There's also the 5 volumes. There's another project of translating my sermons, which have been this series of sermons about the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and the life and character of the Holy Prophet. People are translating these sermons, and they are now preparing some volumes in different languages. And as far as the record is concerned, they also have they have Makhzan Tasawir is another department which uploads pictures about the community. And also I move on to Nwakfe No. We have had an increase of about 80,000 new Waqf No, and of course for some parents whose key children have been accepted in this scheme, they have been written to, and 2,600. Some of them are now trying to work, and those who are over 16 are being accepted. And 24,000 are boys and 26,000 are girls who have grown past 16 years. We have them in India, we have them in UK, and also other African countries where we have so many people who are requesting to be accepted in the scheme of Waqf No. And Ghana is on top of the list, and they have 81 girls whose requests have come in. And likewise, there are those who are at the stage of entering the universities, and some of them, the Waqf No, they are now setting their foot in the professional life. Others are offering themselves to serve the community, and most of them, they are the ones helping in the translations of the books of the Prince Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam. There are also some books which came from Jammu, and there's a lot of content about the second Khalif which has been received from Jammu, Kashmir, which is being dealt with now. And most of them, they have been introduced to the archives of the community, and now they're actively working in different capacities and in different areas. We have the IT department, which is a central department, and it is playing a major role. And now they have Ghulam Qadir IT Research Center has been published in Nigeria, in Africa. It has been established in Ghana and Nigeria, in these two places. Likewise, they continue to guide these people, and by the grace of Allah, IT is doing a great job. IT office is doing well, and in different TV channels, they've established contact with these channels, and they also give news of the community, and different programs are being shown on these different television channels. During the past year, we've visited different universities, and lecturers were delivered in these universities. There's been a lot of representation in these universities. We also have Al-Islam website, which is a new website, where we have uploaded Tafsir Kabir, and they have increased. They have a mobile app of the Holy Quran. There is also an online translation of the Holy Quran in Urdu and in English. They've also incorporated the Tafsir Kabir, and the Tarjimatul Quran class is also being translated and uploaded in English. And also in the mobile app, they have got the short commentary, the 5-volume commentary, and Google search engine. They've added Learn and Lexicon. And in Apple, Google, they have uploaded a lot of books. I can say around 85 books in English, and also my sermons. They are also available on internet in audio and video, and also MP3. MTA International, we have got MTA International is doing a wonderful work, by the grace of God. MTA International is another arm, and the management board is being headed by 16 departments. And we have 506 employees. 196 are ladies. Some are paid and others are volunteers. And others are just for volunteering, others are paid. By the grace of Allah, there are 8 channels which is producing live programs 24 hours a day, and 25 languages are being translated live, which covers in Bangla, Swahili, Turkey, Bulgarian, Spanish, Bosnian, Dutch, Japanese, Malayalam, Tamil, Rusi, Pashto, Farsi, Sindhi, Churi, Yoruba, Hausa, Twi, all these are languages which are being transmitted live. MTA 6 Asia and MTA 7 Asia is been started, and we have a lot of channels which covers as far as New Zealand and Japan, and these programs are being produced for that area. And besides, we have a program for Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, the Central Asia, and we've had over 200 studios which have been reopened in new places, and in Indonesia. A lot is being done there. Through MTA, we have HD publications. Now we have started showing our programs on HD. There's also an arrangement to train different staff. And also there's a lot of training across the globe to different television channels. And we send trainees across the Africa, and there's a lot of cooperation between different channels within Africa. And under MTA Africa, there's an arrangement to have different trainings at different times. And of course, when our programs are produced on these channels, the content is all about our community, and the message of Islam Ahmadiyyat has been presented on these channels. MTA Africa is run in different languages. We have different branches, and at the moment we have 12 branches: Ghana, Mali, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Mayotte, Thailand, Rwanda, Nigeria, Benin, Sierra Leone, Mauritius. These are the countries where we're now established. Rather, in these areas, we have new studios and new contacts through MTA Africa. Through MTA, many people, they join the community. The Amir of France writes and says that one member was watching our programs on MTA and on YouTube, and he wasn't sure about Jesus and the second coming of Jesus. But after watching MTA, he started also preaching his friends and those around him. And by the grace of God, now his son and his daughter, they have accepted Islam, Ahmadiyyat. There is a place in Cameroon, Diga Sulaiman has written and said that I watch MTL Arabia. I am a teacher in a school, and I watched the entire JALSA SALANA of last year through MTA, and listening the comments of the non-Ahmadis, it developed an interest in me to learn more about Ahmadiyyat. And I'm wondering, why are they joining? And it gave me the drive and reminded me that the Prophet used to take the pledge. The Prophet used to take the pledge, and when I went on the cable, I took a contact number from there, and then I inquired more about the community, and by the grace of Allah, with my family, I've had the opportunity to formally join Islam Ahmadiyyat. Salim Saab, who is a French friend, who is in Frostburg, at the opening ceremony, he came to attend, and then he was told that these people are not Muslims, you should stay away from them. And when he watched the program on MTA, he was much impressed, and his friend said that in spite of the fact that they stopped him from coming to our mosque, he came to our mosque and also listened to our question and answer session. And he accepted Ahmadiyyat, and he says that I accepted Christianity when I was 17 years, and my reservations were about the death and resurrection of Jesus. And I never had any satisfactory answers for my reservations. But when I listened about different programs about the death of Jesus, and I had the opportunity to put before the scholars all the questions I had in my heart, now I'm totally convinced, and he has formally joined Islam Ahmadiyyat.
Islam Ahmadiyyat! Islam Ahmadiyyat! Ghulam Ahmad ki! Ghulam Ahmad ki! MTA International! Nara Takbir!
MDA radio stations.
We do also have Ahmadiyya radio stations across the globe, and there are over 215 in Ivory Coast, in Tanzania, Congo, Kinshasa. We have in different places as well, and our message is going to many people through these radios and these stations across the world, and people are listening in about Islam Ahmadiyyat. We have 3 radio stations in Germany which have been established, and Al-Ahmadiyya Sautul Islam is one of the channels in Germany, and Islam Ahmadiyyat in German, and there's also Voice of Islam. These are the 3 channels we have there. And they have produced over 700 programs. Voice of Islam UK was the first one to be established here in UK, and now it has been expanded. And it has been expanded in Cardiff, Leeds, and the coverage is now covering, it goes in these areas, and now it can be heard in different areas. Of course, we also have our broadcast in the Midlands, Manchester, Leeds, and our voice goes to over 8.5 million people. And by the grace of Allah, the Voice of Islam is being accepted and loved by many listeners, and people are learning about Islam through these radios. And through Ahmadiyya radios, people are accepting in Africa and also in other areas. And it is a source of training and reforming our community members through these radio channels. I'll give you an example. A Central African Republic missionary has written in and said that there was one of my programs which was in relation to the ladies and the relationships and the roles of women in Islam, and she wrote in and said, once I listened to your radio, we used to have fights, but after listening to your programs, we understood our roles, both husband and wife, which are being taught by Islam. Of course, if non-Muslims are benefiting from the teachings and from these programs, I urge you also to watch these programs. There's also a lot of news publications, and we have feedback of many articles which have been written. There's many articles which have been published in different languages, and the over 12 million people have seen and read these articles. MTA International, it is a 24-hour broadcast channel, and Islam, and through these mediums we are able to deliver the peaceful message of Islam. And we have had an opportunity we have had many hours of broadcast on air. The Central Department AMJ under these are architects, a group of architects who go in different countries and they give guidance and guidelines for our constructions around the world. We also have Nusrat Jahan, another scheme. And under this scheme, we've been able to build a lot of schools and doctors, rather hospitals, and we have visiting doctors for these hospitals. And over 100,000 people have been treated freely across Africa. In Niger, at a place called Kakata, we are trying to build in these areas. We have primary schools and secondary schools across Africa, and many central serving devotees of this community are working there. There's also a Nusrat Jahan board here in UK, and there are many members who are visiting many African countries, and by grace of God, they are doing a tremendous work. They have made free operations free of charge, and for those who are not able to pay, they have been offered free treatment. They have made free medicines in different countries, and over 20,000 people have been operated upon free of charge. They have distributed free medication to different peoples, and hundreds of people have benefited from these 3 medical camps. And also there's been harvesting of blood, and we are serving humanity through this way of donating blood. And by grace of God, the hospitals also, they're helping, not on emergency, but rather they are continued on with a concerted effort to help the needy. We also promote our cause through charity walks, and of course, it's a big role to organize these events. We've been able to contact also the people in prison, and in 11 countries we've had about 21 converts. Yes, we visit those in need and those in hospitals, those in prison as well. In Cameroon, we contacted over 1,200 people. And in Congo Kinshasa, they contacted over 2,000 people. Burkina Faso, over 2,200. And in Tanzania, 1,900. Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Congo, Brazzaville, Guinea-Conakry, and in Liberia, Ghana, Uganda, Gambia, and in Asia, Bangladesh, in India, Malaysia, Singapore. Many people have been contacted in these areas, and some are now active members of this community. We've had many refresh courses for many of our community members. And we've had several programs across the world. And we had over 100,000 participants in these programs. And of course, many imams who have been given training. And by grace of Allah, in the past year, Allah has favored this community. The bayat, the number is over 200,017. Over 400 tribesmen have joined this community. There's Guinea-Conakry, Cameroon, Senegal, Tanzania, Liberia, Congo Kinshasa, Sierra Leone, Togo, Gambia, Ghana. People joined from all these countries I've just mentioned, respectively. Zindabad.
Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Kamil. Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Kamil. Jamaat Ahmadiyya Alam ki. Nara Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Burkina Faso.
Mali is on top. Niger, Benin, Ivory Coast, followed by Central African Republic, Rwanda, Chad, Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, Zimbabwe, Sao Tome, Madagascar. And besides Africa, we have other people who joined: Somalia, Algeria, Ethiopia, Mauritius, South Africa, Swaziland, Morocco, Comoros Islands, Reunion Island, Cape Verde Island. We also had people joining from these areas. Furthermore, Indonesia, Kyrgyzstan, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Cambodia, Kababir. Besides these, Thailand, Bhutan, all these areas we've had people joining this new community. And also in UK, we have new converts, about 17 people. There's German, Spain, Norway, Belgium, Ireland, Albania, Australia, Azerbaijan, Denmark, Kosovo, Holland, Portugal, Slovenia, North America, Canada. In Canada, we had about 88 new converts, and we had converts from all the countries I've mentioned. We have people from Belize, Comoros, Guatemala, Mexico, Cayman Islands, and in the Southern African bloc, we have Paraguay, Guyana, Bolivia, French Guiana, Panama, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Suriname, Venezuela, Fiji, Australia, New Zealand, Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Guam, and likewise many countries of the world have had their citizens joining our community. Inshallah, tomorrow in the International Bayat, International Pledge, I'll give you further details about this. Of course, I can't cover everything before me now, and due to the constraint of time, so far I've covered as much as I can. But finally, the Amir of Tanzania raised and said that Abdullah Sahib came to our mosque and he wanted to increase his knowledge about Islam. And then he was told that you've been passing here several times and you've never entered this mosque. Why are you coming in? When he was asked. And of course, he was given an opportunity to discuss with the members of our community, and our missionaries were able to talk with him. And after a long discussion with the missionaries of our community, he was much convinced that Ahmadi Muslims are true Muslims. He joined the community and now he's preaching in his area. And also there was a mosque which was being constructed, and he was the treasurer for the funds. And once he called people, and there were other people who came there. And then he said that have no answer for the teaching and the preaching of Ahmadis. And now, by the grace of Allah, I can see that the Malvis there in Africa, they are able to freely express whatever their feelings are. Likewise, I continue with Micronesia, Congo. Like I said, is difficult to cover everything at this moment in time. Congo, Brazil we've had so many converts from this Congo, Brazzaville. Someone went to Obanda, which is a place there, and from there, a member who was from who is a pygmy, and then he said that you people, you had gone to our people and you preached to them, but they did not cooperate with you. We've come to apologize on their behalf. And we told them that when our missionary comes to you, you should listen to them. And they said, yes, of course we shall listen to you, because it's only your people who love us, who care for us. And the missionary said that when we went there, the entire village gathered around, and 23 members joined Ahmadiyyat. And of course, they went with the passion of preaching to other community members in their societies. And of course, people have been joining through dreams, and there's a number which is innumerable, and I can't cover the same here. But I'll touch on Mali, where the missionary writes that in a mission house, Abu Bakr Sahib came to sign Bayat. And he said he used to listen to Radio Ahmadiyyat, but he wasn't convinced about signing Bayat. And he said, I saw in a dream last night that there was a cloud and who was wearing a turban, and the voice was coming from this cloud that this is the Imam of the age who you should follow, who should accept. And when he was shown the picture of the Prince Messiah, he said, this is the person, this is the pious man I saw in my dream. This is the old man as he is the one I saw in my dream, and he joined the Jamaat Ahmadiyya. There's a local missionary there in Africa where he wrote and said, that the husband came in the dream and said, you should accept Islam. And then she said, I used to see one old man, and one time when she visited our mission, she saw my picture on the wall, and she said, this is the person I used to see in my dream. And after that, she joined Islam Ahmadiyyat. There's also a new convert from Liberia, Thomas, writes and says that I saw a person in a dream who came to me and said, come and see a prophet of God. And I said that my teacher told me that no prophet will come, so leave me alone. And he called me 3 times, and I went to see him, and I saw someone who was wearing a turban. And when I went to Salion, I went to the mosque, and I saw the person I saw in a dream, the old man, and that person was the Prophet Messiah, and when I was told that this is the Imam of the age, I joined Islam Ahmadiyyat. Likewise, there are many numerous examples across many countries in Europe, in America, South America, Asia, and elsewhere. I'll touch upon Mayot and Harun. After signing Bayat, he said, I prayed in different mosques, but I wasn't settled in those mosques. But now, whenever I pray in the Ahmadi mosques, I feel the peace in my prayers and the tranquility. But of course, I used to pray in different mosques. But on one occasion, I saw in a dream a person who was wearing some white clothes, and who told me that you should join Islam Ahmadiyyat. And eventually, he came to one of our mosques, and now he has joined Islam Ahmadiyyat and is a permanent member. There's also another story from Canada, a Christian friend, also from UK, Russia. We have stories from there as well. Allah Almighty, when He is to guide someone, He gives you also an understanding. Somebody from Guinea-Bissau writes and said that we went for preaching in one of the villages, and through our mobiles, we showed the pictures of the Prince Messiah and his Khulafa, his successors. But one of them said and stood up that all the pictures which we've been shown by these words, they can never be liars. These are representatives from God, and I have chosen to join with my family this community. And also, it is strange that in spite of the propaganda, it also counters the propaganda, and people, they join listening to this propaganda. One missionary from Mexico writes that one new convert writes and says that my niece pointed me in the direction of Ahmadiyyat. I was walking once, and then he saw the niece who had just joined Ahmadiyyat saw picked a wallet, and then what he looked for was a contact number. And then he was told that, of course, people will just look for money and you are trying to look for contact. And then he said, I am an Ahmadi, and we Ahmadis, we don't act like that. And then he says, after that, he established contact with the community, and after long research, he has now joined Islam Ahmadiyyat. And of course, the opponents, they try also to oppress members in different areas and to take their wealth. And of course, there is a lot that happens around the world which worth mentioning, but it's difficult to cover everything. But I'll slightly touch on an incident, on a story from Ramamandi in India. Of course, from this place, 20 people joined Ahmadiyyat, and they took the influential people to these new convents to convince them to return and to revert. But the ladies responded and said that when we knew nothing about Islam, you never came to us. Rather, you used to, whenever we were just quiet, doing nothing for Islam, you used to consider us to be very good. But now, since we've started preaching Islam, you are considering us to be bad people. We find this very strange. Likewise, there is a lot of areas to cover, but I will touch on Mali briefly. The missionary from there writes and said that Abdullah had an opportunity to join the community, and the friends, they were trying to dissuade him from joining. But in the dream, he saw that the wife was standing by the river, and she said in a dream that this is the river of milk, which I've received as a present for accepting Ahmadiyyat. And now the husband also has joined Islam Ahmadiyyat. We have many stories. We have numerous examples. There's one from Argentina. Of course, even through these tortures we receive from our opponents, people are converted through this as well. I have an example from Burkina Faso, and those people who are martyred, the martyrs who are martyred in Burkina Faso. I'll briefly touch on that. Musa, the wife of Musa, the martyr who was killed there, she writes and said that it was a big incident, it was a big loss, and I was an eyewitness to the martyrdom of my husband. And she says that we came helpless, and I didn't know what will happen. But the Jamaat looked after us. And after the death of my husband, I didn't know where to go. But the Jamaat has taken good care of us, and also following the guidance of the Khalifa, the Jamaat has made arrangements for the education of our children, and maybe if my husband lived, would never have been able to care for his own children like the Jamaat is doing right now. And another wife writes in that when my husband was killed, I felt like I've lost everything, and I felt that maybe I will never be able to live for longer. The death of my husband left a big impact on my heart, but God treated me, and also my heart was strengthened that whatever happened under Allah's decree, and that I shouldn't lose heart. Of course, the Jamaat is looking after us. They have encouraged us to live on. And of course, this is a great favor for us to be members of this community. Shuhadai Ahmadiyyat Zindabad. Shuhadai Burkina Faso Zindabad. Nare Takbir, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
फातिमा साहिबा
Fatima, who is the wife of Musa, furthermore, says that I have made a promise before my Allah, and I'm also ready for martyrdom after the death of my husband. And after the death of my husband, I wasn't sure of how I'm going to look after my children, but I'm thankful to Allah that the Jamaat has been able to help me in immeasurable ways. Here in Dori, now my children are able to study the Holy Quran, and Allah's favors have been so much upon me that it's difficult to enumerate each and everything. And there's, like already I've been saying, there's a lot from many people, but I won't go without talking about the mother of our martyr, Musa Sahib of Burkina Faso. And the mother says that I thought maybe I would go mad at hearing the death of my son. But when the Khalifa of the time sent a group of people for condolences in our house, and when they brought the salam from our Khalifa of the time, I felt reassured. And they said that after that, I felt peace in Dori. Of course, these are all the incidents and the stories from across the world, and I will continue to cover the same on other occasions. Of course, there's also how we see the support of God for this community, those who were killed by God Almighty, who faced the wrath of God. Like I already said, the time is short. I can't cover everything. I end my discourse here today, and I pray that Allah, who has been showering the favors upon this community, may Allah continue to do so, and may Allah make us of those who partake and receive Allah's favors and Allah's love and protection. May Allah protect us, that none of us should face the wrath of Allah Almighty. I conclude with the words of the Prophet Messiah, where he addresses his opponents and says that, refrain and be careful, fear the wrath of that God, and be reassured that if you had not denied, a single prayer of yours would have destroyed me. But none of your prayers has been accepted by Allah Almighty. But each and every day you continue to reduce. Don't you see that you are being reduced and we are growing? If you were right and were wrong, you would be growing and would be reducing. And this is a challenge of the Messiah, that if since I am All Almighty, this community will continue to grow. May Allah make us part of this growth. And this is the decree of Allah, and we hope and pray that we become part of this progress. Amen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, ya Amirul Momineen.
Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Ghulam Ahmad ki, Islam Ahmadiyat, Islam Ahmadiyat, Khilafat Ahmadiyat, Khilafat Ahmadiyat, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih al-Khamis, Jalsa Salana UK, Nare Takbir.
It is indeed the grace of Allah, the favors that Allah has showered on the Jamaat of the promised Messiah. May Allah be pleased with him. Hazrat has said in every series of incidents that he began that he cannot narrate all of them. Messages were coming from all over the world, incidents of acceptance of prayers, true dreams, the progress of the Jamaat in publications, in missionaries' efforts, in people converting to Islam Ahmadiyyat, in every aspect, in MTA Africa, and translations of books of the Prophet ﷺ, translations of the Holy Quran and commentary, mission houses being built, mosques being built. In every way that you look at the progress of any community, the Prophet ﷺ's community is growing beyond all bounds. Officer, this is just mind-blowing to see.
MashaAllah, it is indeed wonderful. We all listened to Huzur's address as he now makes his way out of the marquee, and whoever listened to it with a very clean heart would be forced to accept that the Jamaat is growing leaps and bounds every year, every moment. And the ending part, when Huzur mentions a quotation of Hazrat Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, is very much thought-provoking. That look, he tells the opponents, whoever is not an Ahmadi, that look at the progress that we are getting. If we are not the community established by Allah the Almighty, why would Allah help us to this extent? We are growing in every aspect, in terms of those who are dedicating themselves for the service of the Jamaat, in terms of the mosques that are being built, 185 mosques built within the course of the year. It's almost like a mosque is built every 2 days or every, I don't know. It's a lot of progress that is going on, and it's indeed incredible how the Jamaat is progressing, and it is progressing through different departments, and all these departments are working together as one unit, as one big family, with the head and the binding factor being Khalifatul Ahmadiyya. That is really incredible.
And in any aspect that you look at it, people who say, what is the Jamaat Ahmadiyya doing? Here is the Khalifa. We can see him walk out of the tent. He just gave you more than an hour of an update. This is not the politicians when they give their updates. They give speeches, and half of the speech is about praising themselves. This is about facts and numbers. The Khalifa has just delivered those numbers to the whole world. And this is every year that we get this update. By the grace of Allah, we can see that Allah's hand is indeed with this Khalifa. Anyone who has any doubt, anyone who has any question, all you have to do is show them any speech of His Holiness, any JALSA, any year from UK on Saturday, the afternoon session, is a day to see the measurement that Allah has put in terms of blessings and progress of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat. We cannot measure them.
Indeed,
it's beyond our count.
We need not remind the viewers that Allah has promised to His prophets, Kataballahu la'aghlibanna ana wa rusuli, that I and my prophets would definitely will be triumphant. And that is what we are seeing in the report of His Holiness today.
We do have our attendees of JALSA Salana also leaving the Jalsa Gah as enthusiastic as we are in the studio, but I'm sure they were sitting there with the Khalifa as they listened to this. Kaleem Sahib is with them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Kaleem Sahib, where are you? And you can tell us what's going on there as members leave the marquee.
It's going to be maybe 30 seconds.
Kaleem Sahib, mashallah, we can see he's engaged in the conversation.
We've just heard the words of Hazrat Amirul Momineen, Yadullah Ta'ala bin Sahil Aziz, in his second address for the day. And people are now making their way out of one of the many gates. I have with me here some guests who have arrived from Brazil. I know you speak Portuguese. If you can kindly ask him his sentiments about what he has seen today and where he's from.
Ele está perguntando seus sentimentos e o que o senhor achou daqui.
Achei um evento, sou do Brasil, Rio de Janeiro, na cidade de Petrópolis, estado do Rio. É um evento grandioso, né? Várias nações reunidas em prol da paz mundial, de discussões de como melhor interpretar o Islã e a religião aqui.
He's saying it is a very big event and with people of different nations and all together towards the peace, so it's very nice to see.
And has he ever seen anything like this before?
Tá perguntando se você viu algo desse tipo antes.
Não.
No, he hasn't.
So we hope and pray that he has the chance to come again.
Ele diz que nós oramos para que você tenha a chance de vir aqui novamente.
Não tenha dúvida, não tenha dúvida.
Thank you.
doubt about that.
Obrigado, thank you.
Thank you.
And anyone else that you have from Brazil also? I think you have a journalist from Brazil also?
Yes.
He is a journalist, so he obviously has had interaction with many events around the world. His feeling about this Jalsa Salana, what makes it different to other events he may have visited?
Está dizendo que você participou de diversos eventos, certamente como jornalista. O que o senhor está vendo diferente neste evento especificamente?
Nesses 38 anos que eu tenho de jornalismo no Brasil, na cidade de Petrópolis, eu nunca tive um evento desse porte onde pudesse se reunir mais de 100 nacionalidades, né, em ampla harmonia com todos.
He's saying that in 38 years of journalism, he has never seen any event which could bring together people from more than 100 of nations and everyone in harmony and peace in the same place.
Eu me sinto também muito honrado por ser convidado pelo senhor Vazim, da comunidade Ahmadiyya, para participar desse evento, né? Estou gostando muito e vou levar daqui muitos ensinamentos.
He's saying that he's feeling very honorable to be able to take part from it and to be invited by the Sada Savasim Sahib, and that he will go back with a lot of new teachings and learnings from here.
And we hope that next year he also comes back with some Brazilian weather.
Ele está dizendo que espero que no ano que vem você também venha com...
Okay, let's move on to Zaki Sab, to our other guests who are also here at Khalifatul Mahdi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We've just listened to the speech, which is the interpretation of I shall cause the message, your message, to reach the corners of the world. Some people are converting through radio station. Others are seeing dreams, as we've heard it all from the Imam of the age. The crowd you are seeing here is just from listening that speech. I have my brother here from Ghana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's your name?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Muallim Abdul Kalim Atrefi.
I hope you were inside the marquee listening to the speech.
Yes.
If you hear Huzur narrating incidents of how people are converting into Jamaat Ahmadiyya from around the world, how do you feel?
It is a wonderful feeling because I'm surprised, but not much more surprised, because it is a prophecy that was given to the Prophet alayhi salam that I shall cause thy message to reach all corners of the earth. So if today Jamaat is reaching all these kind of nations, I'm not very much surprised, because it's a prophecy. And he said it until after he's done about 300 years, Jamaat Ahmadiyya will conquer the whole world. And that's the sign we are seeing today. So I'm not much surprised. I know that it's Allah the Almighty that has planted this tree by his hand and is watering, and it will definitely blossom.
Inshallah. So what is the message, your message to the people of Ghana?
My message to my people in Ghana, whoever is watching me, is that they should come into the fold of Ahmadiyya, because just like a train that is moving, it is not waiting for anyone anymore. If you see the crowd, the number of people that are here, it is a testimony that this is a religion, or this is a true religion that everyone has to follow. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Yes, indeed, he's from Ghana. If you hear that, then you know that, yes, the Ghanaians are here. Let me just grab someone here who was been listening to. All right, let me just hand over to the studios. To the studios, back to you, please.
Saab, it looks like you're spoiled for options. Zaki Saab has so many people that he couldn't pick one, but mashallah, that's a good thing. Well, we have others that are ready, even in the land of Africa, in the motherland. People are lined up to sing for us. We have some others that are on the ground here as well who wanted to join us and sing. But should we go to Ghana or Gambia? Or should we be neutral?
I think we went to Ghana yesterday, so let's go to Nigeria.
I wanted to say Gambia, but okay.
Ghana, we had a Ghanaian to say La ilaha at least, so let's go to Nigeria.
Okay, let's be neutral. Let's go to Nigeria. Let's hope we have someone in Nigeria. We're going to throw the dice. Assalamu alaikum, Nigeria.
Jazakumullah khairan, dear brothers. Alhamdulillah, we have just listened to beloved Huzur, and we have some members of Atfal Ahmadiyya and here who will be chanting some Yoruba poems to us, inshallah. So let's listen attentively while they give us some poems in Yoruba language. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. Kò sọ́ba kan àf'Olúwa. Kò sọ́ba kan àf'Olúwa. Kò sọ́ba kan àf'Olúwa. Muhammadu lòjíṣẹ́ rẹ̀. Àwa níjọ Ahmadiyya. Ọmọlẹ́yìn Gulam Ahmad tó ń gbẹ̀sìn Islam ga. Kárí gbogbo àgbáyé lọ́kùnrin àtobìnrin lọ́mọdé àti lágbà kó Olúwa ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Allahu Akbar, 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 Allahu Akbar. Ẹgbẹ́ Olúwa tóbi. Allahu Akbar. Ẹgbẹ́ Allah tóbi. Allahu Akbar. Ọba tí olórogún. Allahu Akbar. Kò lórogún kò lẹ́gbẹ̀ra. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, 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 Allahu Akbar. A kí yín káàbọ̀ sí Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana UK. A kí yín káàbọ̀ sí Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana UK. Ya'tika min kulli fajjin amikin. Olólùwà ọba sọ fún Mẹ̀sáyà àsìkò látọ̀nà jíjìn réré, ní tìkẹ́tìkẹ́, níjọ níjọ, lọ́pọ̀ yanturu ni ọmọnìyàn yóò máa wọ́tọ̀ ọ wá. Ẹ rọ́ gìrì wá o ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi dédé. Ẹ wá woṣẹ́ Olúwa wa sọ̀rọ̀ máyẹ̀hùn. Ẹ̀dá ní ṣàdéhùn tí kì í ṣíkà. Adarí oorun gbàgbé pé àlùkáwà ni ẹrù Allah ni ẹlẹ́dàá wa ń kọ́ la yukhlifu mi'ada ni aṣàdéhùn mádéhùn ṣẹlólúwa wa. Ẹ wá wo èrò bàbí lẹ́yìn àléfà Mẹ̀sáyà láti ìyọ oòrùn, láti ìwọ̀ oòrùn ayé, láti orígun ọ̀tún dúníyàn, láti orígun òsì àti láti àárín gbùngbùn. Ẹni dúdú, ẹni funfun, kàláńkìní, àrìnrìn, lédèlédè, lẹ́yàlẹ́yà, níranníran, gbogbo wọn pátá ni wọ́n péjọ sí pápá àti àgọ́ Jalsa, Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana. Àròkọ òdodo Mirza Gulam Ahmad ni t'Olúwa ọba pa fọ́mọ aráyé kí wọ́n róhun mú ronú, kí wọ́n fi rí nǹkan tàfákárù àti tàzákárù pé òdodo ni ìjọ Mùsùlùmí Ahmadiyya lóòrèkóòrè. A kí yín káàbọ̀ sí Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana UK. A kí yín káàbọ̀ sí Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Salana UK.
Jazakumullah khairan, Abdullah Sahib and Hafiz Ismail Sahib. Now back to you in the studio.
Jazakumullah, Jazakumullah. Nuruddin Sahib.
MashaAllah, it looks like we have another group behind us in the Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Kalim Sahib. Looks like you have another group with us, Nigerian group in Jalsa here in the UK. Assalamu alaikum.
Àwa níjọ Ahmadiyya, ọmọlẹ́yìn Gulam Ahmad tó ń gbẹ̀sìn Islam ga. Kárí gbogbo àgbáyé lọ́kùnrin àtobìnrin lọ́mọdé àti lágbà kó Olúwa ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Wa kul ja'al haqu wa zaqa libatinu inna libatila kana uzauko òdodo dé irọ́ sálọ òdodo dé irọ́ sálọ, òdodo dé irọ́ sálọ, irọ́ ní láti parẹ́ ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká yẹ̀ Kùránì wò níbi tó dodo ti ń lọ, lórí 150 ẹsẹ̀ 9 sí 10 rẹ̀, tó lẹ́sìn Islam níyọ̀bọ̀rí. La ilaha illallah o, la ilaha illallah o, la ilaha illallah o, Muhammadu Rasulullah. Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammadin wa sayyidi saadati nabiyyi Muhammadin. Ìtàn ayé Muhammad ó pọ̀ jù tẹ́nìkan lè sọ, ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ díẹ̀ fáwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn Muhammad. Allahumma ya
Rabbi salli ala
Muhammadin wa sayyidi saadati nabiyyi Muhammadan. Nígbóyún Muhammad támínà tún bá rè kọjá, gbogbo ẹyẹ tó wà lókè wọ́n ń forí balẹ̀ fàmínà. Ọlọ́lá Mákà wọ́n ń forí balẹ̀ fàmínà. Àwọn ẹja abúdó wọ́n ń forí balẹ̀ fàmínà. Àmínà tún jáyà, Àmínà tún jáyà, Àmínà tún jáyà, òun pé kí lélẹ̀ Ọlọ́run ọba. Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammadin
wa sayyidi
saadati nabiyyi Muhammadan. Alayka salamullahi ya marja'al wara, likulli dhalamin nuru wajhika nayyiru. Allahumma ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammadin wa sayyidi saadati nabiyyi Muhammad. Nare takbir,
Allahu Akbar,
nare takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Islam al-Ahmadiyya, Islam al-Ahmadiyya. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Maki, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Maki. Nigeria, Nigeria, Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Very energetic group. MashaAllah.
Well poised for it.
Alhamdulillah, that's great. We go fly back to East Africa now. Looks like the Tanzania group is ready for us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Is that Ramadan Marunda or
Shunda sir?
Shunda sir. Usman Shunda? MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Okay, Tanzania. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.